All right, all right, all right. So, all right. Good afternoon, Cubs fans. It is that time again. We have a series to discuss. I know I said that with the Milwaukee series, I was hoping to get back into the daily videos. Um, yeah, I then wound up getting an allergic reaction. My upper face a little bit, still a little on the puffy side. Yesterday and Friday was very hard to talk. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but hopefully going forward we can get back into the swing of things here, get back to those daily videos as promised. But for today, yeah, the Cubs take 2 out of 3 in Milwaukee, a 4-2 road trip against division rivals. This is a massive, massive statement in my opinion, and I hope you guys feel the same. So if you guys are in here listening, uh, drop a like, leave your comments down below. Let me know how you feel about how this Chicago Cubs team is performing. Like I said, I think that this is a really big statement for the Chicago Cubs. I really do believe that Dansby Swanson has been performing really good. PCA is keeping it up. I mean, these guys coming in absolutely hot at the perfect time. Um, so we will get these box scores pulled up here so that we could talk about these games. Absolute domination Friday and Saturday out of the Cubs. A weird situation there today on Sunday with Imanaga coming out of the game, pulling at his uh, his right leg quad a little bit there instead of the left leg like he did in the Pirates game. So yeah, that's unfortunate that Merriweather comes in, gives up the 4 runs, but the rest of the bullpen pitched, fairly well outside of that. Um, so yeah, we'll backpedal to Friday here. We'll talk about these games in order, like we always do when we do these 3-game series roundups. Yeah, the Cubs got to it early and quickly. 2 runs in the first, 7 in the second, and then another run in the seventh. Shut out Milwaukee 10-0. It is now the 8th time that the Cubs have scored 10 or more runs in a game in the season, just making really, really quick work. Ian Happ went 1 for 2 with 2 walks and a strikeout in Friday's game. Justin Turner pinch hit, went 0 for 1 there. Tucker went 2 for 4 with a walk and an RBI. Suzuki 1 for 5 with an RBI, 2 strikeouts. Kelly 2 for 5 with an RBI, no strikeouts. Michael Busch 1 for 5, 4 RBIs as he hits a massive grand slam. No strikeouts on the day for Michael Busch. That's awesome to see. Nico Horner 2 for 5 with an RBI and a strikeout. PCA 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs, no strikeouts. Dansby Swanson going 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Bruhan straight zeros, and then Nicky Lopez going 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. So the totals for Friday's game, we're looking at 10 runs on 12 hits, 10 RBIs, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. If we move down, look at the pitching. Excellent bounce back game for Ben Brown. I was really impressed with the way that he pitched. He went 6 innings, 4 hits. No. So yeah, sorry about that pop up. 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, no earned runs, helping his ERA bring it back down to a 4.88. Then Flexen goes 3 innings, 2 walks, 4 Ks with 1 hit. Two pitchers cover the 9 innings, give up 5 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Excellent pitching day on Friday as well. And yeah, this game really set the tone for the whole series. I think that if it's not for Imanaga coming out injured, Merriweather having to rush a little bit, that ball getting by Amaya, I think that this could be a series sweep easily. Because I mean, Saturday's game was very much the same. I mean, the offense just dominated that game as well. But yeah, I want to just look at the scoring. summary here. Carson Kelly singles in the first, and that allows Ian Happ to score. Nico Horner singles, that allows Kyle Tucker to score. And then Kyle Tucker singles on a line drive. Dansby Swanson scores. Seiya Suzuki singles on a fly ball to second baseman Nicky Lopez, but Nicky Lopez scores, Ian Happ to third, Kyle Tucker to second there. And then Michael Busch hit a grand slam. Absolute. What's crazy about that, too, is that he went opposite field on that grand slam. I think that just shows Michael Busch's power, honestly. I mean, that didn't really immediately look like that ball was going to carry off of the bat when he hit that. That looked like that was going to be maybe at the beginning of the warning track at most, and then that ball just kept carrying and carrying. I mean, that it didn't really look like he had to swing very hard for that. It just kind of popped off of the bat, and it just kept carrying, like it just wouldn't stop. Um, and then in the seventh, or no, I'm sorry, this is still the second inning. Yes, PCA homers on a fly ball to center field that puts him up 9. And then in the seventh, Pete Crow Armstrong going down into the dirt to grab a ball. He sends one to right field. That puts the Cubs up 10-0, and that is all that she wrote for the scoring in that game. Like I said, the offense just dominated this game. So did the pitching. Again, it was Ben Brown and Chris Flexen to cover that game, which is excellent. That helps the bullpen a lot. That saves a lot of arms. You didn't have to use anybody other than Flexen there for the 3 innings, which is fantastic. I mean, that helps the bullpen for the rest of the series and also going in to the series against New York at home. And then when you scroll into Saturday's game, very much the same. The offense was just on it. They scored 1 in the first. They scored 4 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. Milwaukee got 1 in the third and fourth. This game, too, was all dominated by Cubs hitting, and especially against Jose Quintana, who has been just lights out for the Brewers. He done got in this game on Saturday, and the Cubs hitters just didn't let up at all. I mean, Ian Happ, 2 for 5 with a strikeout. Tucker, 1 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout. Suzuki, rare 0 for with 2 strikeouts. You got Carson Kelly going 1 for 2 with 2 walks and no strikeouts. Turner got a hit. He went 1 for 3 with an RBI and a strikeout. Busch pinch hit. He went 0 for 1 with a strikeout there. Horner 1 for 4 with a strikeout. PCA 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs. A really big 3-run homer for him. Also a strikeout in the game. Dansby Swanson 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Birdie 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. No, Lopez went 0. So if you look at the totals on yesterday's game, 6 runs on 8 hits, 6 RBIs, 3 walks, 11 strikeouts. This is just a story of getting home runs again at the right time, big time. Especially with Pete Crow Armstrong, with that 3-run homer. Dansby Swanson got himself a solo homer. Kyle Tucker hit a solo homer. Just excellent, excellent stuff out of this offense. They just don't quit. They just keep pushing. We look at the pitching. Tyone goes 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, giving up a home run. Merriweather goes an inning with a strikeout, posting zeros, and then Keller goes 2 innings. He does not. He allows just 1 hit with 1 strikeout, bringing his ERA down even further to a 4.30 ERA. So if you look at the pitching totals, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, 1 home run. Again, man, the Cubs pitching really pulling it together as of late, because another game where they get far more strikeouts than they do walks, more than doubling the total, big time. 7 times as many strikeouts as walks in this game on Saturday. If we look at the scoring summary here, Top of the first, Justin Turner starts it off with that RBI single with Ian Happ scoring. You look at the bottom of the fourth, Pete Armstrong with that big 3-run homer. Then Dansby Swanson hitting a solo home run that puts Chicago up 5-1. Kyle Tucker in the top of the fifth, solo homer that puts the Cubs up 6-2. And that is what happened with the scoring in this game. And then we come to today's game. This was definitely the pitcher's duel for sure. It was 0-0 going into the sixth until Imanaga came out with that hamstring that he was tugging at a little bit. I do think that if he lands that double play again, I don't see the Brewers scoring for the rest of the game, and it's a tie game going into the ninth, unless the Cubs offense finds a way to score there between the seventh, eighth, and ninth. But Ian Happ 1 for 4 on the day with one strikeout. Tucker 2 for 3 with a strikeout. Suzuki 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Michael Bush 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Horner 0 for 4. Pete Crow Armstrong 1 for 3. Amaya 0 for 3. Swanson 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Birdie 0 for 2 and Bruhan 0 for 1. Yeah, bats were quiet today. 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. Now you look at the pitching here. Imanaga, 5 2/3, 2 runs on 4 hits with 1 walk, 4 Ks. He was just rolling until that hamstring and not being able to cap off that double play there. Merriweather, yeah, this is a situation where you can't let that ball get past him, but I'm not mad at him for doing it because he came in awfully cold. He had to hurry up to warm up. He gets 2 hits, allows 2 earned runs, 1 walk. That inflates his ERA a little bit to a 3.38. Although he has been pitching much better than that ERA shows. He has been one of the more reliable guys in our bullpen for sure. Palencia came in through a scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts. Pomerantz scored or through a scoreless inning with a walk and a strikeout. So the total for today, um, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Again, they did their job as far as the strikeouts to walk ratio. They again more than doubled their strikeouts to walks. It was just that ball getting by Merriweather there. I think that if Imanaga can finish off that double play, Merriweather can come in the following inning with the bases empty, and that's a way different situation. He gets more time to warm up, and that's just not the situation that Merriweather should have had to walk into. Um, but again, Dansby Swanson keeping it rolling. We look at his baseline 1 for 4. He's got another 1 for 4, so that's 2 for 8. And then he goes 1 for 3 today. So he goes 3 for 11. But if you look at his series, or the road trip as a whole, he batted 500 over this series, last 2 series on the road. So that 8 hole, he's got a 333 today, a 250 yesterday, and a 250 on. So yeah, he batted a 275 or either a 267 or a 275 in his last 3 games. But again, if you go and look at that series with Pittsburgh and the series in Milwaukee, batting a very solid either 500 or 475. Dansby Swanson is just being way more productive in that 8 hole. He looks a lot more. Ooh, excuse me, hiccup. He looks a lot more calm and confident. Ooh, excuse me, 1 second. Sorry about that. He's looking just a lot more calm and confident in that 8 hole down there. He just looks like a very more confident version of himself. And I got to say that for Dansby Swanson, this is huge because you got a couple of big teams coming up again in New York. You definitely want to play good against them. I know that you don't play anybody again in your division for another couple of weeks, but getting him rolling down there. PCA had an absolute monster series. He goes 2 for 5. Then he goes 1 for 4, so that puts him at 4 for 9. Today we're going 1 for 3, so that puts him at 5 for 11. So, he had another monster series, a couple of home runs, big time home runs in the first 2 games of the series with that 3-run homer, those 2 solo homers. Pete Crow Armstrong is just doing everything right, and it's exciting to see for him that he is getting really into these preferable counts and being able to do major damage after moving up when he kind of flipped spots with Dansby Swanson in the order there. Having that production out of him with him moving up in the order, I think is huge, especially with his speed. Even though Michael Bush was a little quiet this series, his production overall on the season, right behind Tucker and Suzuki, has been huge. So with having that speed producing up a little bit further in the order there, that really just helps things along. And I mean, and again, with the speed on the base pass, you're forcing the opposing defense to having up and throw the ball quicker, make errors, or having a pitcher do some extra step offs there, commit errors. They're walking extra people. So I mean, the Cubs are just kind of doing everything right. And obviously, there's a little bit of a Sunday curse going on right now. I think they've only won one Sunday this year so far. So you'd like to see them turn that around. However, a very successful 4-2 road trip. So again, Cubs fans, I gotta have you tell me how you're feeling about this in the comments section. Excellent work out of the offense. Today just being a quiet day. Those things happen. I was more so worried about going up against Quintana, and that's they arguably did more damage against Quintana, um, obviously than I would even argue on Friday's game, because that was a little bit of a bullpen game. Their starting pitcher just did not have a grip on the ball. Then they had someone else from the bullpen go like 90 something pitches in 4 innings before getting pulled. So, I mean, obviously the offense really showed up on Friday, but to do that damage against Quintana, who has been lights out for the Brewers, is absolutely huge. So again, am I a little sad you didn't get the sweep today? Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think everybody wants to see us sweep the Brewers, but you get your first series win there since 2021. You did 4-2 against your division rivals to start the season to start off those season series against them. A huge, massive, massive improvement there compared to last season, and also just a massive statement to make in general. You lead the division. You're playing over 600 baseball right now. Depending on what Cincinnati does tonight, you might even still hold a 3-game lead in the standings. We'll actually pull that up really quick while I'm talking here. Um, we'll see what we got here. Um, so yeah, with the Nationals and the Reds are tied up in the fourth right now. Um, but yeah, the Cubs had a 3-game lead coming into today's game. So again, uh, if by chance they find a way to kind of let today's game go, you can get that half a game back. But again, you're playing perfect 600 ball at 21-14. Cincinnati is 18-16. We'll see what happens with their game tonight. Um, but again, the things that are really helping the Cubs right now, 208 runs scored, 146 against, plus 62 as a differential, and we're not even a full quarter of the way into the season quite yet. I mean, your offense is putting up better numbers than any other offense in the league right now. You're looking at a run differential of plus 62. The closest team behind you is the Mets at plus 57. Uh, the only offense that really is anywhere close to what you guys are doing is would be the Dodgers, I would say. They have 179 runs scored and 136 against. That's a differential of plus 43. The Cubs actually, this is what is most surprising to me is I'm looking at these numbers. Their expected win-loss is 23 and 12, and you're 21 and 14. Right around this time last year when the Cubs started to kind of fall big time, their expected win-loss was not reflective of their actual, record at all. I mean, I think there was one point where they had an expected win-loss of like 25 and 8, and their real record was 12 and 13 or something like that, or 12 or 13 and 12. It's just, there's a lot of things that are going right for the offense in the bullpen too. To give them their credit, since they really took down that big West Coast swing after they had that big meltdown where they allowed 10 runs in the eighth inning against LA, that game that they actually still wound up winning. The bullpen has actually fared fairly well. I mean, our high leverage guys like Hodge, there was two games where he got thrown into a game with runners in scoring position that kind of made him look bad. But when he comes in a clean inning with no runners on base, he's been lights out. Presley has been lights out for the last 10 or 12 outings now. You got guys like Merriweather who, yeah, he let a ball slip by today and then he allowed a couple of runs, but he's been lights out in the bullpen. Pomerantz has been really good since coming up with us. And also to Craig's credit, he's had a solid rotation of low leverage guys coming in and out from AAA to kind of bridge that gap for the low leverage spot to try to just keep low leverage arms fresh, which is also really nice to see. I like seeing that quite a bit. I think that that's helping the bullpen out big time too. The one thing that's kind of biting the Cubs right now is actually their home record. They have a winning record. It's 9-7, and on the road they are 12-7. Now, granted, they've also had a very road-heavy schedule so far, um, but their home record could swing here pretty big in the next couple of weeks because I'm gonna pull up their schedule right now. We're going to look at their schedule through May. You got the Giants at home, the Marlins at home, the White Sox, the Rockies, and then Cincinnati at home at the end of the month. And here's what's crazy about this schedule for this month, guys. You play starting on the 5th, you play the Giants, then the Mets, then the Marlins at home. Then then, oh, I'm sorry. Earlier I misspoke. I said that you play the Giant or the Mets at home. You play the Giants at home, and then you go to the Mets. But then you play the Marlins. Then you play the White Sox at home. You play the Marlins again on the road, and then you play the Reds on the road. Rockies at home, Reds at home. So you play two teams twice for, let's see here, 3, 6, 9. It looks like 12 games, unless that one in June is a 4-game series. Nope. So you get that Monday off June 2nd. So that is a 3-game series against Cincinnati at the end of the month as well. So the Marlins, you can really, really beat up on some teams here. You got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 games here where you could really flip. You could really walk away with your record here in pretty good shape, because really the only team that you got to worry about is Cincinnati and the way that they're playing. Maybe New York, just because their offense has been scoring at a really high clip lately. But I mean, I like our odds against the Giants. I really like the odds against, the Marlins, the White Sox. Definitely love the odds there. But I mean, like I said, you play the Marlins back to back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the following week Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you play at the end of the month the Reds 23rd through the 25th, and then again the 30th, 31st, and then June 1st. And then your schedule is even better looking after that. You play the Nationals, then you play the Tigers, you play the Phillies on the road, and then you play the Pirates, Milwaukee at home, the Mariners at home, St. Louis on the road for a 4-game series, and then the Astros. So, I mean, May and June look like very, very favorable months. Now, the one thing that I want to talk about is the Shota Imanaga situation. Uh, he came he came out uh, right before the end of the sixth inning there, grabbing at his opposing leg hamstring that he did last week. Last week it was the left side. This week it looked like the right side. It looked like that hamstring was bothering him quite a bit. But Here's the thing. You already brought up Chris Flexen, and you have Cade Horton, who is just lights out in AAA right now. Obviously, we all heard what Craig said in his post-game conference that he's going to wait until the imaging comes back tomorrow before they make more of a determination. With it being the opposite leg, it could just be another thing like cramps. Either way, I would be in favor at this point at skipping a start here. Uh, just with the way that your schedule is shaking out in the next couple of weeks, I think it would be favorable. Plus, I mean, you also have that Thursday coming off. So if you skip one start and then you give Shota an extra day if he doesn't land on the IL, that gives them a solid week and a half there, where you don't have to worry about him making a start. Like I said, you already have Chris Flexen up here. You could stretch him out a little bit to get him a start. You know, he already threw three out of the bullpen against Milwaukee the other day. So he's a viable option. I would love to see Cade Horton get the call with the way that he's pitching. So there are options. Obviously, worst case scenario, those MRIs come back positive for something, and he's got to make an IL stint. Now, in that case, the best case scenario would be a 15-day IL where you're looking at missing two, maybe three starts. Either way, I think by default, your option to go to would be Cade Horton, see what he's got, and then kind of work things from there. So let me know what your thoughts are on the whole Imanaga thing and how that's shaping up for him. Again, I think that it's not. It could be not as bad as we all think, just because it looks like it's the opposite leg that bothered him in Pittsburgh with that start. But again, to have it happen twice in back-to-back starts, that is just not something that you want to see. But like I said, Cubs fans, I mean, 4-2 on a road trip against two division rivals is huge. Yes, you would like to see the sweep there against Milwaukee, but you also get your first season or series win in Milwaukee since 2021. That's big news as well. So yeah, Cubs fans, you let me know how you feel about the Chicago Cubs team. As always, I think that they are just performing insanely well. After today's loss against the Brewers, the Cubs sit 21 and 14, playing 600 ball. They lead the National League Central. Again, depending on what happens with the Cincinnati game tonight, they will either be 2 or 3 games up. Hopefully, looking to see, hopefully, hopefully, I'm sorry, hopefully, um, you know, Washington can kind of help us out there and get a win for us. But with that, Cubs fans, I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I know I will. I've got a NASCAR race over here to watch the end of, and yeah, I think that we will certainly be back tomorrow night after the game tomorrow against San Francisco, and we will return to the daily videos for you guys. Couple rough weeks, without being able, just some really late games, and then an allergic reaction that made it kind of really, really harsh to talk for a couple of days. But we are back. So yeah, Cubs fans, you let me know how you feel. And as always, my friends, we will catch you guys in the next one.